This is the Single Tree Campground in Dixie National Forest. There were very few people, and it was certainly a beautiful campsite.
We are at Canyon Reef, and it is pretty amazing. This is Chimney Rock right here. This is Panorama Point. It is unbelievably beautiful. I'm just going to show you a little bit here. Sorry about the sun in your eyes. And there's Randy. Capitol Reef has to be my favorite national park so far. The rock formations are just absolutely stunningly beautiful.
This drive is called Capitol Gorge Road, and it's about 2.5 miles that you drive on a dirt/rock road up through a gorge that is part of the park. Capitol Reef is kind of an interesting park in that it was formed by they call it a wrinkle in the earth or a water pocket fold. Two plates started moving a couple years ago, and the one plate on one side rose up quite a bit higher than the other one, and it actually folded over the top of the other plate. So it's not a canyon. There are gorges in there that were formed by water. You'll see some of those, but a wrinkle in the earth, that's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but it certainly is a beautiful area. This is at the end of the Grand Wash Drive. Looks like there's a couple of trails out here. Might have to come back, check this out tomorrow.
This was a uranium mine, which they used to use for medicinal purposes before they knew it would kill you.
So we're starting off on Hickman Bridge Trail, and we'll just see how we do from here. Like walking in the sand at the sand dunes. Okay, the beach maybe. This is the start of the Narrows Trail at the end of the Grand Wash on the scenic road in Capitol Reef National Park. Looks like we're going to walk up the canyon a little bit here, and it should get a little bit narrower. Well, so far this trail should be called the Wides, not the Narrows. Maybe. We turn in a corner here. It's starting to look a little narrower up there. So we shall see. Alright, well I think we're starting to get down into the namesake of this trail here. I think I'm about a mile in. I didn't look at the time. Somewhere around there. And they say it's about 600 feet high, 16 feet wide at the narrowest point. My guess is this is probably the place. Right here. Well, the wind certainly picked up, probably due to the Venturi effect of the Narrows. You should be able to see my hiking poles set over there. Trekking poles, whatever you want to call them. They're set to 115 centimeters, whatever that is. And we'll just climb this rock wall. And let me tell you, the GoPro doesn't begin to give you a good perspective on how tall that really is. And there's a fairly good sized boulder just perched on the ledge, ready to come down into the wash.
While we were in Salt Lake City, we took a city tour, which included Temple Square, Capitol Hill, and the Pioneer Heritage State Park. The Mormon temple was under construction while we were there, so we weren't able to get very close, but the architecture is amazing. It's a gorgeous building, and the grounds are breathtaking. While some sites were closed, we were able to go into the Cathedral of the Magdalene Roman Catholic Church, which is absolutely beautiful inside. Interestingly, it is one of the few Catholic churches that has a full baptistry. Our guide was a hoot, and here's a little bit of our tour.
That is the statue of the guy who was the base commander. Now, that guy, Patrick Connors, he wanted to fight in the Civil War, and Lincoln thought he was nuts. So he got him as far away from Washington as he could, without putting him in California and another state. But he was so upset that he sent his soldiers out to prospect for metals. And it was they who found all the riches of Utah, the military. 3 horses, typically 3 horses, no windows. You don't want any arrows coming through there and sticking you in the neck. So the next stop was downtown Salt Lake City, where they would change riders. But here they would just change horses. And they were pretty quick about it. They filled their canteen and beef jerky, and boom, they were gone. That was the station manager's little pit stop. Right? So across the country in 10 days or less.
The Great Salt Lake was nothing like what I had expected. As you can see from the pictures, the water level is really low and it loses over a foot in depth every year, and there's some projections that it's going to go dry, which would be really sad.
On our way to the Golden Spike Historical Monument, we came across a Northrop Grumman facility where they made rockets, and they had this interesting display out front. One of the things that they used to make were the rocket boosters for the space shuttle, and there was a sign over in the corner that pointed out on the horizon a stagecoach path, the Promontory Point Golden Spike, and of course the rocket facility. Really fascinating from that point. This last building, I don't know what they do in there, but the fact that they have all those escape slides all the way around, when things go bad in there, they must go bad really quickly, and people need to get out. Well, this is the place at Promontory Point in Utah, where the Golden Spike was driven, that really changed the course of history in the United States. It's unusual that you get to stand someplace where history was made. Even when you're out running around like we are, it's kind of amazing to be here and think about how these rails impacted the future of the United States. Of course, these are replica engines. They do operate. They will be leaving here shortly to go to their storage place. I don't see any golden spikes. trail goes back to the Chinese Arch. And it is a little trail. And it's not a very big arch, but it's kind of interesting nonetheless. And there you have it. The Chinese Arch.
Stay tuned for the last two of Utah's Mighty Five, Arches in Canyonland, coming soon.